Hi BookTube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. This is my last video of 2022. My last Friday reads. Very exciting. So one of the things I do on my channel is the last Friday or Saturday reads of the month. I say hello to all the people that I can see on my end who have recently subscribed to my channel. None of these people, to my knowledge, have channels of their own. If I am mistaken, please let me know in the comment section down below so that I can provide a link to your channel. Let's see, where's my list? So I want to welcome Abigail, Flippin' Pages. That could be a great BookTube channel name. I don't know if you've thought about that. James, Amy, Lori, who's already left a comment. Thank you so much, Lori. Al, Deborah, Fall is Dying, Alan, Janaea, Coffee House. This one I'm not quite sure how to pronounce or if it's meant to be pronounced, but like Ms. Una, not sure about that one. Kelly, always great to have another Kelly here on Books I'm Not Reading. Eva, okay, and then the next one, there's like numbers in it, but it basically looks like Cleopatra. Quintessential Reads. That could be a great BookTube channel name. The Spaminator. I really want to know, Spaminator, are you like trying to destroy spam or are you embracing it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And reading something lately, which again, I think could be a great BookTube channel name. So if any of you are interested in starting a BookTube channel and you would like some advice, please let me know. I'd love to help you with that. So I am here to talk about recent reads and my 5 best reads of 2022. I am currently reading Les Mis. Don't worry, we're gonna have plenty of time in 2023 to talk about that. So I did finish reading The Christmas Mystery. This is by Jostein Gaarder, a Norwegian writer. He's most famous for writing Sophie's Choice, which I feel like an idiot for not realizing sooner. I haven't read Sophie's Choice. I haven't seen the movie either. It sounds pretty heartbreaking, but The Christmas Mystery is not. And I think for those families who celebrate the more spiritual side of Christmas, it would be just an excellent book. I am definitely gonna keep it with my other Christmas books, and yeah, I look forward to reading it again in the future. I think that will be a lot of fun. So I also finished Selma Lagerlof's The Saga of Gosta, Berling. Now, Selma Lagerlof was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, as well as the first Swedish author to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. So this takes place in Sweden. The Christmas Mystery starts off in Norway as it makes its way toward Bethlehem. So I had a very, Scandinavian reading Christmas, I guess, if you will. But Gosta Berling was a minister and has been kicked out of the church for his drinking, and he finds his way to this part of Sweden, and there's a woman there. Everyone calls her the Majoress. And she takes in, for lack of a better, I don't know what the criteria is, but she has a whole bunch of single men living in like a separate wing of her house, and they're all kind of alcoholics and gamblers, and they call themselves the Cavaliers. I have to say, what impressed me the most about this book is not so much Gosta Berling, although he is a great character, but the women in this book are fantastic characters. Absolutely complex and yeah, a few of them we get to hear some of their backstories and that kind of thing. Time is a little like a kind of wrinkled sheet of paper. In this book, it wants you to believe that it takes place over the course of a year. I don't think that's true. Or it doesn't come off that way. Because we learn about a lot of the backstories of some of these women as well as some of the Cavaliers. And so I just found it a really interesting, an interesting book. There's also kind of a supernatural element to the book. So that was surprising as well. I was not expecting that, but I have owned this book. This was on my high priority TBR for 2022. I think this was the last book I bought when we lived in Missoula, Montana. And so that was 12 years ago, you guys. So it's definitely time to read this. And I'm so glad I did. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. I know somebody in the comment section told me that they DNF'd this book. And I would love to know more about why. Anyway, so, and then, this hardly ever happens on my channel, you guys, but I started and finished a book this last week. I read Let's Pretend This Never Happened, a mostly true memoir by Jenny Lawson. I have previously read her book Broken, which was her 3rd book. This is the first one. And then there's one in between that a ton of people have told me is their favorite one. And this one, so Jenny Lawson, if you don't know anything about her, Jenny Lawson is a person with, oh my gosh, how do I want to say this? She has not only a lot of health issues, but a lot of mental health issues as well, which is talked a lot about in Broken. And so I knew that was there, but there's a fine line when you're trying to write a memoir about, like, I don't know, dysfunctional families or, mental health issues where, like, it can really easily fall either that's your kind of humor or it's not. There were a few places that I giggled, a couple of places made me smile. So there were some things that I enjoyed about the book, but it was just a little too dark for me. And I think it's hard. I think it's really hard when it comes to books that, are supposed to be funny. We all have different senses of humor, and some things just don't strike us, our funny bone the right way, I guess. I'm looking forward to reading the 2nd book. So maybe that will happen, in 2023. I don't know, but this was disappointing. So my top 5 reads for 2022. So these are not books that were published in 2022. These are books that were, that I read in 2022. I sat down, I did not count any rereads. And like, I did debate about a couple of the books, but, I did realize looking at them, they're all by white men, and yeah, almost all are in the Victorian period. And that's just what my reading year was. I'm not, I'm not trying to like leave people out or exclude people or anything like that. That's just how my reading year went. I thought about including Nella Larsen's Passing in this top 5, but I really want to reread it because I still feel like I'm missing something in that book. So I didn't want it to, I felt differently about it than I do about these books. These are books that, for the most part, filled me with a lot of joy, and you'll see why that's not true of all of them, but yeah. So, okay. Number 5 is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Even though Pip is a bit bland at times, I think the great lesson from this book is, people are always talking about how wordy Charles Dickens is, but Great Expectations, like nothing is wasted. Every character, every scene has purpose and meaning, and just when you think like you're never going to see that character again in the book, they pop up again. Just when you think you can, like, sometimes when I read books with a lot of characters, I'm like, okay, like, who do I need to pay attention to, and who do I need to, like, remember, because they're clearly going to show up again, right? And in this case, like, everyone is important. Everyone is important in this. So, yeah. It was I read this for Victober, and it was a great reading experience. So, okay. Next up, this is the one that maybe didn't fill me with joy, but just kind of blew my mind away, and that would be Shakespeare's play King Lear. Holy cow. Like, I tried to make a video about this, and I was just floored by it. It was a very similar reading experience to reading Hamlet, although I think Hamlet is still my favorite Shakespeare play, although I have a long way to go when it comes to Shakespeare. I'm already looking forward to rereading this, and finding all the layers within it. So I probably will never find all the layers, but I still want to keep reading Shakespeare, and I still want to keep rereading things. So anyway, so I may be reading that in 2023. I'm not sure. Okay. Next up, another book I read for Victober. This is Anthony Trollope's Dr. Thorne, the third book in the Berkshire Chronicles. Anthony Trollope is just so wonderful. If you guys haven't read any Trollope, I would really encourage you. His voice is so different. Like, there's so much humor. And this, Dr. Thorne, this book especially reminded me of one of my all-time favorite books, which is Pride and Prejudice. If you like Pride and Prejudice, you really need to at least get this far in the series, because, and actually you could probably read it as a standalone. I think it's not till the last book in the series, which is the last Chronicle of Barset, that kind of all the characters sort of start coming together. But I just, I loved this book, loved this story, loved these characters. It's, again, I really want to reread it, but I have to keep going on with the series. And there's so much Trollope that I haven't read. I'll never get to all of Trollope, but I have a long ways to go. I didn't fall in love with Trollope until it was very late in life. So I'm so excited though, and this book just filled me with a lot of joy. I took immense pleasure from it. Then we have a tie for number 1, and I'm sure that if you've been watching my channel for the last year, you know exactly what books I'm talking about, because I talked about them all year long. I feel like I'm just constantly talking about these 2 books, because I read them in the first half of the year. So, of course, we have The Annotated Alice, which is Lewis Carroll's annotated editions of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There. I never in my life thought that I would really enjoy an annotated edition of a book, and this one has so many extra special things about it. incredible illustrations from so many different time periods. But the notes, it was really the notes. You know, this is a Victorian novel, or Victorian novels, I guess. But it was meant for children, and we don't, you know, I have no idea what Victorian children were taught in school. But Lewis Carroll took immense delight in making fun of what children were taught in school. He invented games. He was a professor and an incredibly smart guy. There was a real Alice, and yeah, it's only because she asked him to write it down that we have this, really. So it's a very special book, and I will never feel the same about Alice in Wonderland. That's why I named my library card Alice. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading this again in the future. And yeah, just enjoying it. It's such a much richer reading experience when you have all the annotations. I read it before, and I said I wasn't going to pick any rereads, but I did read this before, but it was just a completely different reading experience, and so I felt like it was okay to include it. So, okay, and the last one is Dombey and Son by Charles Dickens. Can you tell I love Dickens? So Dombey and Son I read for March of the Mammoths. If you're not familiar with that event, it's a month-long event in March where people are encouraged to start books that are at least 800 pages or so long. I did this as a buddy read with Joe Smith, and I think we finished it in about 3 weeks. Maybe 3.5 at most. So it was like I don't know, it was just this steam train that we just could not, I just could not put the book down. Like, it was so good. And I want to champion it because I really feel like it's so underappreciated when we're talking about Dickens. No, people don't often talk about Dombey and Son, and it is such a great book. Such wonderful characters, and you can see I've left all my stickies in there. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but yeah, I read this all the way back in March, and I knew when I read it, I knew that it was gonna make it on this list this year. I just didn't know where, but I'm not really surprised that it's tied for number one, because it was. I still remember Voxer conversations with Joe, and we were like, oh, what about this character? Like, surely this character's going to come back, like, right? Like, surely this is going to happen. And, you know, trying to guess, like, because we knew so little about the book, because nobody talks about Dombey and Son. I think when it comes to Dickens, people talk about Oliver Twist and A Tale of Two Cities, Great Expectations, Bleak House. But this gets overlooked a lot, and it is just an amazing book. So if you're looking for any books for your own TBR this year, those are 5 strong recommendations from me. I would love to hear from you in the comment section about what you think of my books that I've discussed today, and what your favorite reads for 2022 were. I would love to hear that. If you're new and you don't really have anything to say, but you just want to say hello, you can leave me an emoji in the comment section, or you can give this video a thumbs up. Booktube, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will talk to you in 2023. Happy New Year. Bye.